We're about to dive into a story, an ancient, powerful pattern that repeats itself over and over. And at first, it might seem like it's about people from a long, long time ago. But stick with me, because I have a feeling it's going to sound surprisingly familiar, because really, this is a story about you. So let me just start with a question. Have you ever truly witnessed a miracle? I mean, really pause and think about that for a second. We tend to think of miracles as these huge, spectacular events, right? Like something out of a movie. But what if the biggest miracle of all is one we see every single day and we don't even notice? And that's exactly where our story begins, with that daily, overlooked miracle. Because you see, every single one of us is the recipient of this profound, often completely forgotten act of salvation. It's the very beginning of our entire journey. Just look at this parallel. On one hand, you have the incredible story of Bani Israel. I mean, can you imagine Pharaoh's army right behind them, the sea right in front of them, total certain destruction. And then bam, a path opens up right through the water. It's a clear-cut divine rescue. And on the other hand, well, there's us, our own miraculous arrival into this world. We were saved from nothingness, brought out of darkness into life. Both of these are undeniable, incredible acts of salvation. This verse from the Quran just nails it perfectly. It says, we were brought forth from our mother's wombs knowing nothing, and then we were given everything. Hearing, sight, a mind that can think, a heart that can feel. And the verse tells us the exact reason why we were given all this, that you may give thanks. So the miracle isn't just an event. The miracle is us, our very existence. Okay, but here's where the story takes a really sharp turn. This is where the real conflict starts. Because right after the miracle, right after the salvation, comes the very first test. And that is the seduction of false gods. This is the moment the cycle of ingratitude really begins to spin. There's actually a specific phrase for this in Arabic, kufr nema. Now, this isn't just about simple disbelief. It literally means to deny a blessing, to intentionally cover up the truth of a gift you've been given. This is that crucial pivot point, the moment where gratitude just gets thrown out the window. And this is where that parallel from before becomes almost chilling. Think about it. Right after seeing the sea literally part for them, Beni Israel comes across some people worshiping idols, and they say, make a god for us, just like they have. It sounds unbelievable, doesn't it? But what about us? We are born in a state of pure natural submission to God, what's called the fitra in Islam. And then the world gets a hold of us. And we too are pulled away from that natural state. And the thing that pulls us away, it has a name. It's called Taghut. And no, it's not some kind of monster with horns. The Quran defines Taghut as anything that you worship or obey or devote yourself to other than the one who actually saved you in the first place. It's the antagonist of our story, and it is way more subtle than you might think. All right, so let's make this really practical. What does Taghut look like for us today? Well, it can be our own unchecked desires, right? The stuff we want no matter the cost. It can be the endless chase for money and status. It can be ideologies or isms that demand our complete and total loyalty. It can be that constant drone of consumerism telling us we need more, more, more. These are the modern, subtle idols we end up serving, often without even realizing it. But why? Why are we so easily seduced? Why does this pattern keep repeating itself? Well, to get that, we have to dig a little deeper. We have to look at let's call it the psychological residue that oppression leaves behind. We have to find the Pharaoh that still lives inside our hearts. This right here is the absolute core of it. Bani Israel was physically saved from Pharaoh, but they couldn't get Pharaoh's ideology out of them. They had lived for so long under his system of visible power, of tangible physical gods, that even when they were free, that's what they craved. A physical idol they could see and touch. It's a huge lesson. Physical freedom doesn't automatically equal spiritual freedom. And that, of course, throws the question right back at us, doesn't it? What Pharaoh is still living in our hearts? Is it the crushing pressure to keep up with social status? Is it the tyranny of wanting more and more wealth? Is it the desperate need for validation from other people instead of from our Creator? These are the subtle tyrants we still serve, long after we've been given the freedom to choose a different way. Now, I know this might sound a bit heavy, but this isn't meant to be a story of doom and gloom. It's actually the opposite. Because when you understand this cycle, it becomes incredibly empowering. It reframes the whole struggle not as some unavoidable tragedy, but as a conscious, daily choice that every single one of us has the power to make. And this amazing verse from the Quran lays out that choice so clearly. The right way has become distinct from error. It's black and white. There's a clear path. And what is that path? It's to actively disavow, to reject Taghut, and to believe in Allah. And when you do that, it says you've grasped the most trustworthy handhold, something that will never, ever break. So how do we actually do this? How do we break the cycle? Well, you can boil it down to 3 really clear, actionable steps. First, acknowledge the miracle. Every day, remind yourself that your existence is a gift. It's a salvation. Practice gratitude. Second, identify your Taghut. Be brutally honest with yourself. What are the modern idols that demand your time, your energy, your devotion? Give them a name. And third, cross back over. Make that conscious daily choice to turn away from that falsehood and turn back to the one who truly saved you. So, where does all this leave us? What's the ultimate point of seeing this ancient story? Well, it's that this pattern isn't just similar to our lives. It is a direct message for us, for you and me, right here, right now. And if you take just one thing away from our time together, let it be this. The stories in the Quran are not just history lessons. They are not about them, some other people from a distant land. They are about us. They are a timeless map of the human heart, a diagnosis of our soul's journey. In the end, the Quran is a mirror. It reflects our own habits, our own weaknesses, our own struggles, and our own potential for incredible gratitude or devastating ingratitude. So the final question isn't just about believing the stories. The real question is, when you hold up that mirror, will you have the courage to see your own story in it?